behind the camera. I'm pulling up all of our various social media here to make sure that I can see everybody, and jumping on to see who's here and who is ready to make this really fun bracelet project. I'm super excited to share it with you. This wrap bracelet has it all, right? I think you guys are going to love it. Let me see. I don't see us coming up. My notification.
Looking good.
Are we on? There we are.
Somebody. Yeah.
Okay, there we
We're
are.
starting to get some comments. I know.
See.
It's taking a little while.
Why isn't my Facebook coming up? There we go. I see Janice. I see everybody's on there. Alrighty, great. It's great to have everybody. Fantastic. Well, I want to get all of my chat working here so I can see everybody coming up. All right. Oh, great. Joyce is here and she's excited for today's projects. Excellent. I like that part. Good. And I see you guys here on YouTube, here on Facebook, so we're all set. Well, this is going to be, I think, a really good learning episode for you guys. I know that you've done, so many of you have done wrap bracelets and done a ton of wrap bracelets, but this one's really simple. And the way I've kind of, thought about this one or thought about putting this one together was making a stitch and a design that's super easy, right? It's just 2 beads that we've got. And you can do a little bit of variation and stuff on your design theme, but we've got some other stuff going on, okay? So if you're struggling with infinity stitch, this is a great one because it's so straightforward. You're not worrying about design too much. Some of you have been playing around with the wall knot, spelled W-A-L-L, like the wall behind me, walnut. And it's a great addition to your bracelets. And when we move the camera and everything, you guys will see them all up close. You can also see the samples and everything, of course, as always, up on our website at beadshop.com. But I think it's a great one to integrate into this piece. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit here. We're going to talk about closures, the silk wrap, as well as the macrame stitch. We're going to look at that. So you guys can have, you're going to have all kinds of, I guess, technique learning today with this. And I'm super excited to see what you're going to do with it. So we've got Gita on our YouTube feed, on our Facebook feed. Sorry, I've got so many feeds in my head. Do some linking and stuff. She's up as beadshop.com. You'll see her. And we've got our Janice. Janice is moderating over on our YouTube channel as well. So it looks like everybody's good, I think. So let's go ahead, Brandon, and move the camera around, and we'll get started and take a look at the project. Start taking a look at what's going on there. We're going to move everything. Doing the camera move is always a little crazy and a little fun there. So I'll let you hold that. Okay. You can tilt that down, and I will move.
The bracelets.
Look at the bracelets. There we are. I'm going to move this in.
I'm in the channel.
And I'm going to move this in. Bear with me here, everybody, while I move this over. Everything else is looking really good, except our camera movement is still kind of a mess, but we'll get it.
It's more important
slowly
that we
but
don't
surely.
break up.
That's right.
So
Bran, why don't you move the go ahead and move all of that for me so I can get, good. Let's see if I can get this camera on here, everybody. Our next trick, I think, is going to be having a really good rig, I hope, someday, to get this really, really seamless. But we're getting there. Can we please see your tool holder? Yeah, I guess so. I think I know what you're talking about, Kim. Maybe. There we go. Let's take a look there. How's that looking?
I want to get this cord
With
out
that
of the
cord
way.
out of the way?
'Cause
Okay.
the cord is definitely in the way.
I feel like,
That's better. We still can see the cords
okay.
a little bit, so.
Let's see if, thanks everybody for bearing with us.
All right, there we
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
I
little
see
bit of a
that cord a
shadow,
little
but we got rid of the cord. It's not
Okay,
visible.
good. The cord, the cord, the cord. You guys are, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, would you move that there? And I'm going
Oh, 'cause
to,
this is the
you know
weight
what,
of
bring it
that.
around.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to put
It's
it
not
over
very-
here.
This is okay. Got
What
that.
do we think?
That's good.
Okay.
That works.
Yes,
All
look at
right.
that.
And
Okay. That's not too
I
bad.
think that we
Okay,
twist
yeah,
this at
yeah.
all.
Oh, yeah, we need to, there we go. So it's straight.
Yeah.
And let me tighten it.
Oh no, that was a shadow of my arm. Okay.
Okay, look at that, you guys. We did it.
Yay!
We will do it. Yes.
That only took 25 minutes. We're good.
Yes, we're good. We got it. And you guys, we do have some more sound buffering things coming up. We are we have some coming, so just bear with us. But hopefully, we'll have it up by Friday for you guys. So we're still working. We're still working on it. So I know we're a little echoey today, but hopefully we'll be still getting that done. There we go. You're coming in a little tighter, Brand. That's good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to yeah, I love. Thanks for the shout out for Akron mounts. I've actually been looking at some of their stuff, so we'll see which one we wanna grab. With that shadow, I'm gonna actually just
brighten it up.
brighten
I was
it
thinking of doing that
just
too.
a hair if we
I can
can.
take
Whoops. Yeah, you got it, Bran.
I know how to
Okay.
do that.
Then I'm just gonna. Of course you do. So I'm just gonna let you play around with it. Okay.
I'll do that while you.
While
get
I'm
started.
showing this. Okay, perfect. I want to share with you. Brandon's making it a little bit lighter too, you guys. So, well, you know, it's a little bit of a drizzly day here in Redwood City, California. So, so we're not as bright as we might be. But I'm going to show you guys. Let's take a look while Brandon's doing the doing some of the little video adjustments. Let's take a look at kind of tied in here on this bracelet. This is the tracks bracelet right here. And the tracks pattern right here is made from just 2 beads, right? Like I mentioned. It's the half Tyla that's right here and the 11/0 bead, right? So we're just alternating back and forth. You can be a little fancier if you want to, you know, line up, you know, 2 half Tylas, then 2 rows of 11/0, whatever. You know, you decide what you love, what you like for that. That looks a little bit better, Brandon. It's a little bit brighter. That's good. And then I used a 1.5 millimeter leather. Now you could go down to a 1 millimeter if you wanted, or you could go up to a 2 millimeter. Doesn't matter, whatever works for you. Then I've added, you know, we haven't worked with wax linen in a while, so I used for the macrame, because I don't think people use the macrame as much for with the wax linen. So I used just the 4-ply wax linen. This happens to be in the rust, and this is adding kind of an interesting pop of color that also kind of echoes that back and forth kind of tracks thing here. Okay. Then, if you guys remember Janice's Trails End bracelet, you remember that a while back? She does this kind of fun little closure with it. And so I added kind of this little figure 8 kind of closure with the silk wrap here, okay? And the silk wrap, that closure is going to come in and close with that little button. And this is the little vine button. I didn't want a button that was too gigantic, right? I wanted it a little, I don't know, just a little tighter or a little smaller, I guess, so it wouldn't overwhelm. So the kind of the profile of this bracelet is a little slim, it's a little thin, but I like it. It's a good one for wrapping. And you can see I used the Fancy Pants chain here, and there's been some chat over on the Bead Shop, Bead Table Facebook group about using chain, right, as different, I don't know, different components and stuff like that. We've got some new chains actually coming that are going to be amazing as components as well. You can see if I pull the Fancy Pants chain out like this, you can see I've just used one of the elements, and see how I've connected that walnut chain, the walnut knot that's on the cord that's here, it's connected. So it looks pretty good, I think. The cool thing about this chain, and we'll talk about it again when I actually use it, is that the links, you can see they're connected by a really heavy duty, good looking jump ring. So oval jump ring. So it's a really sturdy one. So it keeps this chain together really nicely. Okay. So I also have, let me show you this just real quick. I have this earring on today. And it also shows, I wanted to show you before I actually forgot about it, since we're talking about chain. Chain can be used in so many ways. And can you see this kind of gives a little sneak peek to what Janice is going to be doing next week when she's here with me on Facebook Live. This is little keyholes, our chain right here. And these are just, this is one of our little sliders, and the name, I looked at it and now I can't remember what it is. I'm sorry. Janice, you're going to have to look for it. And then one of our champagne roller beads, and then one of my favorites here, that make-a point that's right here. And just the little ear wire, so I wire wrap there. But this gives a little sneak peek into next week's project. But our chain, we've got so much chain going on with our chain selection. And as I said, we've got 4 new ones coming in. So so it's going to be, they're going to be fun ones for you. So here we go. We've got this guy. Let me pull out the teal colored one too. This is on our distressed dark green leather that I used. And I wanted to point out yet again, leather always is just slightly different. Can you see how the distressed dark green, the color is a little bit different than the current distressed dark green that we have here? Again, leather, it's just like when you buy yarn or fabric or whatever. You need to buy enough of, the current batch in order for it all to match. So this one is called Starlight Express, this guy, and they're both named after trains. Starlight Express is one of the trains that run out here in California on the California coast. So this is Starlight Express right here. And then this one's Orient Express. So it has kind of a richer color tone. So that's what these are. And, these guys here, I don't know, I just liked working with the Tylas. I thought they were really simple, really easy to put together, and it was it was just a fun project to do. So let's get started by showing you how to connect this and how to do that wall knot, okay?
Just to let you know, the bottom is right where that.
Oh, right here?
That's
okay, right here.
You've been doing a great
Perfect.
job.
Okay, good.
Just for,
good.
As you get started.
Great. The roller bead, Janice, is the champagne rondelle, and I will tell you what that other the other one is. Gosh, why can't I should have just written it down. Why can't I hold anything in my brain? It's this
Sixth
little
Sense.
Sixth Sense. That's what it is. Thank you, Brandon.
I didn't get a good look at it earlier.
It's Sixth Sense. That's what it is, and that's the champagne roller, right there. And see how they move on there, kind of like a little abacus, almost. Okay, so that's what that is. Oh my goodness gracious. Good thing Brandon knew. Okay, so this guy, Starlight Express, can you see how Starlight Express is actually just a double wrap, right? So I'm going to put Starlight Express on. It comes around. And I've used a longer piece of the chain. If I can connect it with my hand here. There we go. And so can you see how this is a double wrap, and then the chain kind of acts as one of the strands, and then the laddering as the other part, okay? And then the other guy, our Orient Express. Where's Hercule Poirot when we need him? You
waxing
can see
his mustache.
Right, wax his mustache, exactly. See how these three kind of line up this way, and so it's a little bit of a different look. We could stack all of them together, right? They would all work together as a bigger stack. There we go. Okay, just like that. There we go. I see where I am. Okay, so let's start with the walnut. I'm so enamored of looking at this, but let's move along, shall we? And the walnut is this guy right here. And some of you on the bead table have posted pieces with great effect to using these with your wraps. How am I doing, Brandon? Am I in a good spot?
I think I moved it turned it so it just gets
a little bit better. Okay, great.
We'll see how it works.
And so I'm going to start with that knot. So let me come in. I'm going to do this, use this brass because I think it might show up a little better. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. And I'm going to open up my, let me get back over here. Bear with me here just a second. There we go. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take away some of this chain. And you can see here, let me turn this over on the back. And can you see how the button is linked just to the chain with that nice big jump ring? So I've got one here, so I'm going to connect this back on to the end. And I've got my little vine right here, like so. And I'm just going to close it. And the reason I love oval jump rings so much is that the connection, you guys, is on the side. Can you see that? So if the connection's on the side here, even though this is a thin component right here, it's not going to pull out, okay? It's just going to, that opening is going to hang out on the side, and so it's a really safe, sturdy connection, okay? So now I can make this beginning section as long as I want, right? But I thought round button, flat component, round component kind of balanced each other out nicely. So I'm going to open this chain. No need to cut that ring. Save the jump rings, right? Open it up, take it off, close it up. Now you're ready. Your chain is ready to go for next time. And let's add our cord. Again, 1.5 millimeter. Sorry, pardon me. 1.5 millimeter, and whatever color you like, but this is distressed dark green. Distressed green. Oh my God. Let me look on my list. What is it? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Who are you guys? What are you doing here? It's distressed dark green is what it is. There we go.
Can I make one more suggestion?
Sure, yeah. What do you need?
There's a shadow you can see right there.
Oh, yeah.
Except
Should I work
just
over
a
here?
little bit
Yeah,
over. Yeah. We're outside the shadow. Can't work too far over.
There we go. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So
thank you.
let me start with doing this knot. And you're asking me right now, Kate, how much cord do I need, to do this with? Well, your leather comes in a 4 meter length, right? Or a 4 yards. What's the matter with me today? Why can't I remember? 4 yards.
4 yards.
4 yards.
4
not
yards.
4 meters. Who are you guys?
We got
What are
meters,
you
we got
doing
yards.
here? Right? What am I doing? Oh my gosh, I'm so busy thinking about the knotting technique that I don't know what I'm using. So as I said, it comes in a 4 yard bundle like this, right? And so you can work off the whole bundle itself, but to measure and to figure out what you need, you could just kind of wrap it around your wrist once, twice, 3 times, maybe a 4th time for enough knots for the leather and a little bit more, all right? And then I can double it, and then let me measure it for you. That's kind of my very scientific method of how I measure when I need it, okay? So this comes to, okay, okay, there we go. Maybe right there. Okay, great. This is about, I don't know, 33 inches doubled over, so it's about 66. Okay. So, and that's what you guys, we've just gotten a new, hopefully you notice the improvement of the feed. We have a new hardwired system into our camera, so we are not working off Wi-Fi. We are tapping in directly to the internet. So hopefully we won't have any other issues or photos dropping out or anything like that. So hopefully it's a good broadcast for you. So with this 66 inches, I'm gonna just pull this guy right in. Whoops, pull this guy, what did I say? Right in, right to the center, okay? Like so. Alrighty. So here I am. Now, hopefully I don't screw this up on the first round, but if I do, it's the beauty of the live feed. And Janice is saying 2 yards. Yeah, 2 yards would be fine. You know, I was just kind of measuring and kind of live for you guys. You could see how I did it. But 2 yards is perfect. And then you have another 2 yards to do a second bracelet. So to do the knot, and again, it's the wall knot, W-A-L-L, sorry, I can't spell today either. And some of you have been making bracelets with the wall knot, just the knots, which are amazing. So you can make this knotted section as long as you'd like. I've got 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those guys, okay? So I'm gonna come in, I'm right-handed, okay? So I'm gonna start with my looping up like this with my right hand. Notice, you guys, this is important to make sure this, and is it still interrupted?
It's back.
Okay, good, we're back, okay. Sorry.
There should be a break coming up.
All right, I saw it, delay. Okay. So it comes around like this, comes around, loop the loop, and it comes over the top like this, okay? And I have it go over the top of the left hand, okay? So now I'm coming in with the left hand side of the knot, and I'm going over with my cord, over, and then behind all of this back here and through the loop. And I'm going to pull it in a little tight so you guys can see it. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing this again and again so you guys can see it. Okay, but what I have looks kind of like a little oval in the middle with 2 ears coming off the side, and now I'm going to tighten it up. Again, you guys, sorry about the feed. That was probably just our regular internet connection going down. So, eesh. Are we ever going to have an uninterrupted broadcast? But it should be fine on all feeds. So again, sorry about that. We'll just keep going with it. Okay, so there's my first knot. See how I kind of tightened it up? So again, loop and place that loop, the right hand side, on the left hand cord. Okay? Now, come around over, there we go, over that cord, and then behind everything else, behind this guy, behind that guy, and behind that guy. And I just come in and I shoot it right up through that last little loop, okay? And tighten it down. It does kind of look like a Celtic knot, right, before you tighten it up. Then you just walk it, right, kind of tighten it. and walk it up. There we go. So see how they just kind of nestle into place if you're not really the right tension. That loop is a little bit big, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep going with it. Okay. So here we go. Here's 2. Let me do a third one. Loop this way over the top. You don't want to loop it behind or anything. We just get our leather here. We loop it. Now the left-hand side does all the work. I go behind, all of these guys, and back up and through. Whoops. Nope, that's not right. Loop it. Of course, I was practicing these knots last night, so I wouldn't have any of this issue. Over and then behind the 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what I didn't do. There we go. And tighten. See how that looks? And walk it up. Right? All of a sudden in your head, you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing? There we go. So that's 3. Now let me do my 4th. Okay? Like so. So there's that guy. You kind of have to make it sit, you know, the leather, as Janice knows, when you're trying to knot. She's been playing around with a cool new project that you guys are going to love, I think. You're going to notice when you're knotting with this leather that it's a little funky to get it nice and tight. I'm having a little bit of issue with my tension here today. I don't know why. Let me get it in there. There we go. Now let me do this one.
It looks like a dance.
Right, yeah, you've got that right. And I am behind everything. There we go. And tighten it up. Okay, so now once you have, oh, the back actually looks a little more even. You can see if I pull them apart a little bit, if they're a little bit looser, they look like this. And it is different when I try to do it in slow motion, you guys, right? I'm trying to slow it down so you guys can see it, not doing it in real time. Again, this is a little, I don't love how this is loose, but I'm going to use my awl, give it my all, push it up, and then tighten it up a little bit and pull it up. There we go. Okay. Yeah, maybe Gita, it's a good one. Maybe the tension would help. You know, maybe I was doing it. You know, I'm going to set this one aside for just a second. We've got time. I'm going to do this and let's take a look. Gita's asking on the Facebook feed, and I don't know why I'm having that struggle, if it would be better to tie it down with the tension. So let me just double check and see if it will. Brandon, I am going to need, I'm going to show you guys how we'll open this. Go ahead and grab me another little vine in copper, if you would,
I will.
while I show you guys how this opens. So here's the, here's that jump ring. See how I use my bent chain nose and my straight chain nose? I open it up. I open it this way like a little kickstand, not out like this to collapse the ring. Then I take it off. And then I'm going to close the ring back up so I don't lose it. So again, same thing with my 2 pliers, nice and tight here, and swing it back closed. And that's all. Okay. So let's attach it to the board. And I found when I was cleaning Janice's favorite thing to attach to the board with, her big tube, her big roll of string. Perfect, thanks, Bran. So let's attach it and see if that tension is a little bit better. Let me go ahead and add this button right here. Open it up. And see again, I just have it open just large enough to get the shank, the shank of the button in there. Come on now. Not quite large enough. Open it up. There we go. Slide that button on and close up that ring. Can you guys see how I grab it again with the 2 pliers right there? Bent chain nose is the way to go. Tightening it up. Janice is looking for that ball of string. Well, Janice, you can take it home with you. No, you can't. I'm gonna hide it because I love it. Okay. What did I say? Jackie, what's Jackie saying? I pulled the, let's see what Jackie's saying. I made the loop the same way, but you pulled the left cord through the loop first, then over everything and back through the loop to the left. Oh, maybe I am tying it wrong. Well, let me see. Well, that's my walnut variation. Let me do this.
It's a lot harder to do when you have to think about every little bit.
Yeah, let me just bear with me, everybody, here for just a second while I pull this all together. Okay, so I'm going to do this one more time. So here's this. I've got this guy here under some tension. Can you see that? How I've just clipped it on the board? I'll get it a little bit closer. Clip it down. There we go. How it's nice and tight there. Now, let me get the purple. And Jackie, why aren't you on here doing this wall knot for me then? That's 2 yards. We'll do 2 yards of this purple. Let's see. And I was practicing last night too. So let's see what happens. I'm going to pull this through like that. Okay, so there's there, and there's the tension. All right, now here's my thing. So I'm going to twist in that clockwise direction, right? So that's laying there. I go behind, you know what, Jackie? You are right. I come through that loop. That's what I do. I knew there was something wrong. There we go. Then I go behind. I go behind. Right? Through the loop. Pass this over like I did. Go behind like this and through the loop. Someone is a smarty pants. There we go. Yes. Bless your heart, Jackie, for pointing that out. All righty. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Loop in the clockwise direction. Pull this left one through the loop. Remember what I had on the wall last week? Over this one. I said, those who have, I don't know, the quote's over there, it's over on the other thing. That don't be afraid to try something new. Whoever hasn't tried something new. What's the quote, Brandon? There it is.
Anyone who has never made a mistake
has
never
tried anything new. That's right. That's right. So that.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah, that's right. The great Einstein. I'm going to try this one more time. Jackie says, ask me how many times I worked on it. Good Lord. This way and through. There we go. Over that cord, and then see it goes under everything else and out through that last loop. Okay. Good Lord. Janice is saying she guards her tools like they're the Hope Diamond, even the string. I agree, JP. Well, I'll let you take the string. I actually have some more string here too, because I have a ball of string. So over that one and underneath. Drea will make you a nice step-by-step in the episode notes. She will save this for me. And it is a lot nicer, you guys, in the, with it down like this, right? Tied, secured down. It's much easier to tie. So again, let's do one last one. Clockwise, through the loop, with this left cord, over the right cord, behind everything else, and up through that loop all the way to the left. There we go. Okay. And tighten it down. keeping that tension even and that knot even. There we go. So my backwards one, let's look at it though, at my variation on a theme. I'm going to just clip this on the other side of the board. Yeah, try it again. Try tying it, you know. There we go. So that one's there. That one's all good, ready to go. And then this guy, I mean, that's not bad. It's just not quite what we were going for. So that weaving in through that knot makes everything much tighter. Okay. So that looks good. All right, so next we need to decide, I'm going to unclip this for just a second. We need to decide how we are going to, what we're going to add next, right? And we're going to add our thread, our string, or whatever we're going to be laddering with. There we go. I wanted to make sure that was nice and even. And what I chose to ladder with this time is KO. And for me, KO means, yeah, there we go. KO means infinity stitch. There we go, that looks good. And it's pulling it out just a little bit because I have it kind of tight under tension. There we go. Yeah, it looks good. So the thread, you can see, it's kind of hard to see here, but I'm going to show you what I do to start this, you guys. Let me grab what I'm using today needle-wise is sharps. Now, you could use regular beading needles, right? You could use regular size 10s, whatever works for you. But the sharps, I like them because they are short, all right? And they are, especially with such a small little beading path there, I think they're easier for me to handle. And if any of you guys do any quilting or anything like that, it's a good one for you to use when you're making small little stitches. When we do, I've been cooking up some bead embroidery to share with you guys. The Sharps needle is my bead embroidery needle of choice for sure. The eye is a little small, but that's okay. You guys will persevere. I'll show you again Emily's trick of needling the thread rather than threading the needle. Always works with those guys. And yes, I'm going to wax the thread, okay, and that's really going to help. So the KO that I'm using, you can see the color here for this guy. The color is the violet. It's really pretty. It really blends in nicely. It's this guy. And then for the other ones, the one that with the distress green, I used the dark green KO, or the olive green, I think it's called. Let me double check and make sure I've got it right up here. It's the dark olive. And then for the purple, and you guys can find all of these if you want all of the materials list. Just jump right on over to beadshop.com and click on the Facebook Live link or our project links. They're both there for the Tracks bracelet. And yeah, it is the dark purple thread that I've got there. Let me go back to our YouTube feed here so I can see you guys. There we are. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in with adding the thread, though. I was trying to fix my last little knot here while I was chatting with you, and I think it's fixing here. I don't know why I'm struggling with this knot today. Probably because I was thinking about the new backdrop earlier and not concentrating on the project at hand. There we go. Okay, that's all good. Perfect. So there's that purple, and I'm going to wax the thread. When I infinity stitch, I like to wax it, and I feel like it gives me some I don't know, makes the thread a little more tame, I guess a little less unruly. So I'm just going to come in and wax it down. Okay, and I'm going to leave the thread on the spool for right now. It gives me something to hang on to as I run it through. Okay, and I don't want the world's longest thread. Now I know it's going to strike fear into your heart. You're going to go, oh my God, no, 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 I don't want to add thread. I'm going to show you yet again, you guys, how to add thread. So just relax, it'll all be okay. And see how just a little bit of wax makes that thread a lot easier to handle. So let me get my thread snips, there they are. Snip away that kale. And then what I do to the end, let me grab a needle out of here so you guys can see. I'm going to grab my needle, and when I thread that eye, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my thread and aggressively wax the tip like this. Emily says she's infinity stitching right now, and she just waxed her thread. Perfect, Em. Perfect job. Now, with your eye of your needle, okay, the needle actually has a right side and a wrong side. If you know how needles are made, the eye of the needle is punched out with a machine, okay? So when the punch comes to hit the needle, it goes this way, right? And so the eye of the needle is slightly dipped on one side, and on the other side it has a slight rim, okay? If you put it in from the back way, where the, you know, if the needle got punched this way, you flip it over and you try and thread it from the back, it's going to be a little more difficult, right? So you want to go from the front, where the direction of where the punch came to pierce the needle for the eye. So I'm going to put my thread just under, right up next to my thumbnail. And I can see, though I know it's hard for you guys to see, I think that this is where the punch went into the needle. I think this is what I'm calling the front of the needle. I'm going to place the eye of the needle right on that thread, get it a little tighter under my thumb, and nope, not quite. And there it goes, right there. See how I needled that thread? I put the eye on the end of the thread there, okay? So that's it. And if it doesn't work, if you keep trying, oh my gosh, it's not going, flip your needle around. I bet that it will make a big difference for you. Okay, so needle the thread and make sure that you're passing the eye on the front and not on the back. So here's my doubled thread. To make it again a little more easier to deal with, I sometimes run it through together to make those two threads into one. Okay, just like that. Again, we're not putting like a heavy wax on it at all. We're just going for it to wax it a little bit. Let me connect this back to the board here, like this. And I'm going to tighten it up on this side. What I'm doing here, let me give you this little tip here. See how I'm connecting it to the board? I'm going to just cover it with this little piece of plastic right here. And then I'm going to put my clip on it. What I would do normally is I'd wrap this around and secure it, but just right now for demo purposes, to make it quick, I don't want to mark my leather, so I've added my clamper right here, which holds it really nicely, but I don't want it to mark the leather, so I've put a little plastic bag over it. You could also put a little, I don't know if you have a piece of leather scrap or whatever, that would work too, but this is just so I don't harm the leather here. So, and if you don't have clampers, you guys, oh my gosh, get them now. It's really helpful. You think, oh, I can use any clip. These are really kind of different. They have these little kind of, you know, rubber tips on the end. This was an Emily find for us, and she says she told us to get them, and we haven't looked back since. So let me get the right, I'm actually going to use the lighter the 11-aught, the gray silver lined alabaster that I used in the Starlight Express, like this guy. That's a little lighter. I think it'll be a little bit easier for you to see the stitching. So I'm just going to mix it up a little bit, okay? Make it easier for you. So I'm going to get some of these guys. We'll dump them in our little dish right there, so to corral them. And I'll take a few out, and I'm ready to go. So I'm not even securing. I know you're like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? I'm not even securing the thread. Watch what I do. All right, I'm going to take one. And with infinity stitch, you always we're working in a figure 8 kind of a motion. So I have my bead on, right? I'm going to put my bead just right on top here, and I've got a little bit of a tail. I'm putting my bead on, and I'm passing my thread underneath, just as I would do on the regular infinity stitch, underneath the right hand side of my leather. Okay, now I'm coming up and over that right hand side, back through the bead, and underneath the left hand side. Okay, so I've created, can you see, I'm going to make it kind of big and wide here so you guys can see. See how I've started that little figure 8, the loop is here, but I still have some open thread here. So what I'm going to have to do is, let me tighten that up. I'm going to come in and with my finger underneath, I'll just stitch back through the bead, pass it through the bead, whoops, through the bead. There we go. Trying not to split those threads. Whoop. Come back here. And slide that needle underneath the right hand side. Okay. Oh, and thank you. Jackie linked the original Free Tip Friday for the walnut. It's called 2-cord walnut. You know, it was sometime last year, I think. If you go to all of our Free Tip Fridays, they're archived in 2 places. You can go to our website, beadshop.com, and click on Free Tip Friday. They're also archived all on our YouTube channel and Facebook page as well. So that should all be in there. So see how I come around. Now I've come around underneath. Now I'm going back on top like this. And now I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm just going to let this end hang out. I've gone through a couple of times here, and this thread is not going to come out at all, really. I can add a little drop of glue or something there, but I can also weave it back in one more time if I feel like, maybe a little bit later down in my pattern, but we're just going to let that hang out for now. Okay, so now I'm ready. I need to widen this up, and I'm going to come back in and do 2 more beads. So we're going to open up the little space in here so it's large enough for the half tila. Now you could do this with the regular tila beads, the bigger ones, or the Checkmates tiles. Both of those would work. They would just be, you know, you just need 4 seed beads probably for those guys to make the channel a little wider. So you just come in and you would ramp up to the bigger one. So there we've got our 2. Can you see that? So I have my 1 and my 2. I always pop my needle underneath on this side. We have
I think Gita found the link.
Oh great, Gita, of course you did. Fantastic. So I'm coming in, let me tighten this up just a little bit, it's loosening up. Come on now. Now I'm ready for a tila. So if we're going with the bead way, the colorway from Starlight Express, there we go.
I'm not having any problems with Facebook, Janice. She said, "Is it frozen?" But it's
Nope.
working fine.
Yeah, it's working fine. Yep. So here's the half tile in the Starlight Express. Color, it's the I'll tell you. It's the medium blue iris, which is real pretty. So when you are doing infinity stitch with a 2-hole bead, okay, just like this, I pop my needle underneath and I'm going to go back through that same hole. You treat a 2-hole bead just as you would a single bead on the top and a single bead on the bottom. Notice also, this is what I did. I'm going to give you this little tip. I'm going to pull this and then I push my needle up towards the top of the bead hole and pull it through. So I'm not splitting my threads. Ginger's saying that tail is driving her crazy. Well, hang on a second, Miss Ginger. I'm going to show you what I do with it. Okay, so bear with me here just a moment, and I'll show you. So now I'm going to do this second one all in an individual stitch. So I go through, underneath, back through the top again. Hold it tight. You can get that needle right through there without splitting those threads. And now back underneath the left-hand side. I'm going to put on a couple more beads here. And then I'm going to show you what I do with those tails. Okay. So now it's time for another row of these guys, the 11/0. And you can pop up, especially if you're doing the Checkmates tiles with this. Checkmates tiles are a little thicker of a bead, a little, you know, the width is a little thicker. So you could pop up to an 8/0 like these 11/0. We're just going to give you, I don't know, nightmares, right? So you could pop it up and do that. I'm going to do, okay, so now let me show you what I'll do with this. You know what, I want to put on one more tile. Sorry, Ginger. One more bead, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with those tails. Okay.
She's getting some tea. She's good.
She is. All right, good thing. All right. Just relax. Get the tea. Okay, I like this colorway with the purple leather too, right? You can, you get, when you buy your supplies for this project, you have enough with the leather cord to do 2, and you certainly have enough beads to do 2. So you could mix all of these together and make some twins, or fraternal twins, not identical twins, I guess, right, with these. And it would be kind of a fun little series for you too. Now I've got these going on. So now I still have these tails, right? And I've still got some length on those tails. So let me get another needle and let me show you how I'm going to just bury those threads in in my stitching. So I could have left maybe just a little more thread, but that's okay. See how that went right through? It's because I threaded it on thread for seed beads. I'm just coming in and walking this down. See that? Right through the stitching. You can't tell. Now I'm coming